All right, you know the drill. Let's get this party started. Here we go. Finding your climbing legs today. Just felt like a day to do some climbing. Last week, what did we do last week? I don't even remember. Last week we did, I don't even know here. Where is my last week? Last week we did all those 80 cadences. That was kind of good. I like that one. It was tough though. I will admit, that was not an easy workout. It wasn't intended to be that way either. So this week, it'll be tough in a different way. So you know the drill. I hope you have your full water bottle, your fan, and your towel. Get yourself in a nice, easy gear, small ring in the front. Nobody should be in their big ring at this point because for the almost the entire workout, you will be hitting that big ring for 4 solid sets. So right now, you want to enjoy this little bit of a warm up. We'll open those legs up even more. Get you ready to do some climbing. So when we get to that climbing part of the workout, we're going to do some seated efforts, some standing efforts. We're going to obviously use our gears to create that resistance and simulate the climbing portion. But I want you during that to think about your form. Specifically think about whatever gear we're in, if we're standing or if we're seated. Really kind of visualize yourself going up a hill. What it means from your body position to be in the right position, getting your hips in the right place if you stand up, and making sure that you're utilizing every muscle that you can to get you up that mountain. So when we stand, you want to remember that you're going to need a little gear under you. You want to have your hips right over your ankles. You want to stand straight up. Hands will be in your hoods so that you get the proper position. And you want to keep your feet light during that process. If the tip of your saddle is touching the insides of your thighs, that's the perfect position. If your hips are too forward, your legs are going to burn like crazy. And if your hips are too far back, then you're pretty much sitting on your saddle. So you got to find that perfect balance position where you can almost be standing and feel a balance. You'll find that perfect balance. And it's good to practice it here. Obviously, when the road is going up, that's going to create a completely different situation, but your body position should stay the same. All right, we'll spin for a couple of more. We're going to just do the regular 5 minutes of 30 seconds hard, 1 minute easy to get the body warmed up. You don't have to go there yet, but we'll be in our small ring of 15. Remember that you're 15. You should see underneath your chain about 3 gears. So you'll know you're in your right gear. If you look back at your cassette and you see that chain sitting about 3 gears from the bottom of your cassette. And we want this first 5 minutes to kind of shock the legs a little bit. Wake them up. It's almost like shaking them, saying, come on, legs, let's go. It's time to work. That's what we want to have happen. All right, so go ahead and find that gear. Shifting down to your 15. 30 seconds, as hard as you can go. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. The first couple might feel a little rough. That's okay. The legs will come around. This is truly the warm-up phase of the workout. Just want to shake you, get you ready. 3, 2, back up to the top of the cassette. Spin the legs. Keep them around 90 to 100. We don't want you fully recovering. We literally want the legs to keep moving and the body still working. So after that minute, we'll do another 30. Control it here too. If you find yourself bouncing, it may be because you just can't control that cadence in this gear. All right, back down to where you were. To that 15. Let's go. Hard effort. Keep it solid. If you have numbers like cadence or power, pay attention to those numbers and try to match them. 3, 2, nice and easy. But like I said before, not too easy. Keep the legs moving. Over the weekend, I went to my mother's house to celebrate her 85th birthday. It's kind of hard to believe. That's what she said to me. She's like, how did I get to be 85? Find your gear. Let's go. 30 seconds. Lots of good solid power. Bringing those legs to life. If you're feeling a burn, that's a good thing. 3, 2, nice and easy. Spin them out. So we went to her house over the weekend, and we have in our family, which is really bizarre, only September and February birthdays. So we celebrated my mom, who's actually on Friday, my nephew, my nephew-to-be, my niece's fiance, and even we celebrated Randy's sister. Last time. Find that gear. Let's go. Nice and solid. Last one, you should feel a little bit stronger here. 3, 2, 1. Find that easy gear. Take a drink. Couple of minutes easy. All right, what we're going to go to next is another way to get you ready for all this climbing. So recognize what we're doing in this workout. So if you say to yourself when you're riding outside, today I'm going to make it a climbing day. Pay attention to those first 5 miles or the first 20 to 30 minutes, depending on how much time you have. But you have to give yourself at least 10 minutes to warm up. Don't just literally drive out of your driveway and go straight up a hill. Not good for your body, not good for you, and not the right way to effectively climb. All right, so we're going to do 2 by 2 minute effort. Each one of these, we're going to do the same gearing that we were just in, but for the first minute, you're going to do 10 seconds hard, 10 seconds easy. Do that for 2 minutes. Have 1 minute easy. Then do it all over again. So go ahead and find that gear. This is about pushing through that 10-second period. Make the 10 seconds relatively hard. 3, 2, 1. Bring your cadence up. See how hard you can go. 3, 2. Nice and easy. Stay in the same gear. Just bring your cadence down. And go. And easy. Oh yeah, now the burn really starts. And go. And easy. Almost to 1 minute. 1 minute down. Go. And easy. Concentrate. Go. And easy. You should hear the change in effort. Go. Easy. 3, 2. Find that easy gear. 1 minute easy. Spin it out. Take a drink. Recover so you can do it a second time. Then bring on the mountains. The other part of climbing that I want you to think about is your mental attitude. If you get your head in the right place and you start to love climbing, that changes everything. All right, last 2 minutes on this set. Find that gear. 3, 2, let's go. 10 seconds hard. And easy. Time to turn on the fan if you haven't done it. And hard. Easy. Work it, work it, work it. Hard. And easy. Last time in the first minute. We're going to do it all over again. Let's go. Easy. And hard. And easy. One more to do. Here you go. And easy. Stay in that gear. No shifting yet. All right, nice and easy. Find that easy gear. Two minutes of recovery. Take a drink. All right, what's up now? Up is what we're going to do. We're going to climb a bunch of 5-minute climbs. So we're going to do 4 by 5-minute efforts. Each one's a little different from the previous. I will literally be dictating the gearing. And some efforts, you are going to stand. Some efforts, you're going to be seated. So for the first one, you're going to be 1 minute, kind of just getting started at the bottom of the climb. Then you're going to stand for 30, sit back down for a minute, stand for another 30, sit back down for 15, stand for 15, have yourself seated, and then that last minute, we want you to try to sprint to the top. So any of these last minute efforts that have you going relatively hard, make sure you conserve yourself. Don't go too hard. Don't blast out of the gate and have nothing left for the last 30 seconds. These are tough efforts because they're in your big ring. All right, so let's go with, find your big ring, get in your 23. So if you have a 25 at the top, I want you to shift down just one gear. If you have a 28, 30, you may have to shift 2. All right, so let's go. 1 minute. Just let the gear dictate the cadence. We're just getting started. You're going to sit here for a minute as we gradually start to ride up that mountain. I want you to think about a climb that you know that takes you maybe 5 minutes to go up. My favorite climb, 106 in Bear Mountain, in Harriman, takes a lot longer than 5, but that's my favorite climb. In 5, you're going to shift down to your 14. So you're only going to see 2 gears. Under your chain, go for it, and then stand up. Oh yeah. Here comes the climb. Think about your body position. Feel your core tightening up. 3, 2, sit back down. 2 gears easier. It's flattened out. Just a touch. You've got 1 minute here. This is one of those workouts where I have to think for the timing. But keep my head in the game. It's not so hard if you keep your feet light. Think about the upward part. Try not to push into the pedals. And your body should not be doing this. 3, 2, standing up. Leave it in that gear. It's going to feel like it might be the right gear to stand. Coming up on 3 minutes. Man, this is going fast. Sitting down. 2 harder gears. Woo! Oh yeah. Now it's really getting hard. You better stand up. Staying in that gear. Sit back down. 4 easier gears. 4. It's kind of flattening out. The last minute, you're going to feel like you're going down the other side, all the way to the top of your cassette. Spin the legs. You might get a little chain rub. That's okay. See if you can get the legs 90 to 100. Spin it out. Good solid effort. You're almost to the bottom. Consistency in this last minute. 10 to go. 3, 2, 1. Shift down a couple of gears before you get it back into your small ring. Nice and easy. 2 minutes, take a drink. Ooh, 1 climb down. Only 3 to go. All right, so the next one, it's going to be easy to manage in terms of time. It's 5 1-minute efforts. And what's going to happen is, just like a climb, you're going to start at the bottom, nice high cadence. Each minute, the gearing is going to get a little harder. The climb is going to get a little harder. So with each minute, you are going to keep climbing and climbing and climbing. But just like the last one, the last minute, we're going to shift back up to that easiest gear in your big ring and get you to spin it out down the backside. So you just have to think of a 4-minute climb for this effort. Think about the scenery. That's the way to kind of help yourself when you're climbing. Don't be so focused and so into yourself of thinking about how hard the climb is. Make yourself notice what's in front of you, what's around you, what the views are like. It definitely makes that climb go a lot faster. And it makes it a little more enjoyable. Wow. What happened with that word? All right, so just like the last time, you're going to get up in your big ring, start in your 23. We're going to do a minute here. I want you to try to keep your cadence high as you can make it. 90 to 100 if you can make that happen. If you're not quite there, if you need to be at 85 or even 80, that's fine too. That's the best part about these trainer sessions, is you can go at the pace that works best for you. Nobody's looking over your shoulder. Nobody's seeing your data. It's just you and the workout at the level that you're comfortable with. So after this minute, we're going to shift not yet to one harder gear and hold that for a minute. 3, 2, 1. You're probably in your 21. Your cadence may drop a little. Figure it's going to drop at least 5 RPMs. So wherever you were for the previous one, factor in 5. So if you were at 100, you might be at 95 right now. This isn't too hard of a climb yet. It's going to get there though. In 10, you're going to give me 2 harder gears. 3, 2, 1, 2 harder gears. Now that cadence might drop even more. Maybe to 75. That's okay. This is how climbing can go. It's going to affect your leg speed, but the key is being in the right gear, not spinning like a mouse in a wheel, but keeping at a consistent pace that will help you climb effectively. Sometimes too easy of a gear isn't the best way to go, but you have to practice that. We got another shift. 2 harder gears. So you're probably around your 15. Cadence is going to drop a lot. Nice and light. Use those glutes, hammies. Stay relaxed in your hands. Feel your core. Sit on top of your saddle. Nobody's pushing their heels down. Use the bottom part of the stroke. Scrape off the mud. Come over the top, which we're about to do. Shifting all the way back up to your easiest gear. Spin it out. Get that cadence. Backed up to where it was when you started the effort. That was a nice climb. Consistent in the grade that it gave us. 30 seconds more. Almost to the bottom. Keep the legs consistently spinning. 5, 3, 2, 1. And again, remember, shift a few gears harder before you shift to your small ring so you don't drop your chain. Take a drink. You know the rule. Finish that bottle by the end. All right. You have 2 5-minute efforts left. It's only 10 more minutes of work. The next one, really going to push you a bit. It's going to get a little steeper in this effort. Keep in mind, if any of these really low gears, the 12, the 13, maybe even the 14, if you're feeling any hamstrings, knees, if they're starting to kind of irritate you or feel like you're going to pull something, just back it down, bring it to an easier gear, do the same effort. Don't want anybody getting hurt. You definitely want to stay healthy through the winter so that you're ready to go in spring, because we're going to be changing our clocks before we know it, or not, depending on what's going to happen with that. I kind of like the changing of the clocks thing. Gives us something to look forward to. That's my special day of knowing that the day after that, I can ride my bike for hours. And I have been noticing that the light is lasting longer for sure. All right, first effort. Big ring. All the way to your 12. All the way to the bottom of the cassette. We're standing for 30. Let's go. Oh, this one started out hard. See if you can keep yourself from doing this. When we have a heavy gear like this, we tend to kind of wiggle. I want you to get tall so that your torso is holding you up and you're sitting right over those pedals. Sit down. One easier gear. Keep this going. Whatever cadence You can manage is all I ask of you. You might be down to 45, 50. Just keep the legs moving. 2 easier gears. So you're around your 15. Bring up the cadence a bit. Keep your hands on your deck, on the top. You don't have to stretch yourself out. When you climb, you don't need your brakes. So sitting on your deck opens up your chest, helps you open up your body so your hips rotate. You want to feel kind of like you're sitting back into the effort, kind of tucking your butt underneath yourself. That'll get your hips in the right spot. Get ready. 2 harder gears. Oh man, it just started going up again. Just 30 seconds here. You're going to feel this in your thighs, hip flexors, and the glutes. And believe it or not, your calves. 3, 2, standing up, staying in that gear. Keep your body looking forward. Keep those hips nice and still. No wiggling like a worm. Sitting down. 2 easier gears. Almost to the top. We're not done yet. Keep the legs moving. That last minute, spinning it out, it's going to be just what you need. Check your breathing. Let yourself breathe naturally. Nobody's pushing air out of their mouth or their nose. 3, 2, all the way to the top. Staying in the big ring, increasing that cadence. Down the other side. Let's go. Let's see who can get to the bottom first. Probably Tom Pitcock, since he's the most amazing descender of anybody in the men's peloton. 30 to go. Sure, you're sweating at this point. That's why you got to keep drinking. 10. 3, 2, 1. Couple gears down. Shift to that small ring. Back up to the top. Easy gear, take a drink. Woo! The legs are turning into climbing legs. So this last one is going to feel similar to the previous. Lots of sitting and standing. But I want you this time, when you're standing, really feel like you've perfected that. I've said this before, when you're standing, if you feel like you need to look at the ceiling to get your body tall, then that's a good thing to do while you're here. So think about this. When you're out on a climb, what do you have to do as you're riding? You're always looking ahead, always looking, never, really never look down at your front wheel. Your eyes are always in front of you. The only time that you might be changing your eyes kind of down in front of you is if you're in a pace line and you just want to check to see how close to the wheel you are, how close you are to the wheel in front of you. But you can actually see that with your peripheral vision. If you're looking forward, you can see that wheel in front of you. It's about just getting the confidence that you can stay at a safe distance behind that person. You've heard me say this before. I can literally ride behind Randy within inches of his wheel. And I know exactly what he's going to do because we've ridden for so long together. All right, last set. Find your big ring. Get in your 23. 1 minute to start us off. We're just approaching. It looks like it's a decent climb. We got this. Finding yourself thinking about climbs as something that you are going to conquer. Not that the mountain is going to conquer you. You're going to conquer it. So you're always thinking about how exciting it's going to be to get to the top. Because when you get to the top, you get to ride down the backside. Unless you're Wayne on the mountain bike in Colorado. Down 2. You're 14 next. Go ahead and find that gear. So you should see 2 gears under, stand up. Think about that. Look to the ceiling. Notice what happens to your core. Feel your feet right over the pedals. Hips right over your ankles. Sitting down. 1 easier gear. Back on your deck. Staying here for a minute. Looking up. You can see the top. You're going to get there shortly. Who's going to be first? And that's the other part. When you're climbing, and you're climbing in a group, use that person in front of you as your motivation. See if you can catch them before the top. 3, 2, standing up. Staying in that gear. Looks like a wall coming our way. Get ready. You're 3 minutes in. Just 2 to go. Sit down. All the way down to your 12. Woo! Wee! Pushing through it. It's a tough gear. You got to stand up. It's that hard. Come on, you're almost there. Sitting back down, give me 4 shifts. You should be able to increase your cadence just a bit. It's leveling out. You're almost to the top. You got to the top, all the way to the top of your cassette. Here's that 1 minute down the backside. Let's go. Keep your legs spinning. The legs are happy. They conquered that mountain. Almost to where you need to go. Even effort. 5, 3, 2, 1. Couple gears down to your small ring. Woo! Spin it out. A couple of minutes of spinning, and then we're going to finish up. So this workout might be just a little shorter, only because when you do these high cadence efforts or low cadence efforts with a lot of effort, it's a lot of muscular strength to make this work. So we'll get the recovery to keep us, get our legs back that leg speed. Take a drink. Keep the legs spinning. If you can hold 80 or above, that's great. Then we're going to kind of walk down a little ladder to bring some freshness back into the legs before we finish the workout. But you're done with the climbing part. You did it. You conquered. And it was actually a 2-pager. Didn't tell you that. 2-pagers always seem a little harder. Somebody told me that they, if I say it's a 2-pager from the beginning, they kind of freak out. That's why I left it to the end this time. Didn't want anybody freaking out. All right, I want you to shift down for me 4 gears. 4 gears. Get into that gear. Whatever cadence feels comfortable. And you know how to do this because we've done it before. I just want you spinning without a lot of effort. So just let the legs spin around. You shouldn't be at like 40 cadence doing this, but you should be spinning at a relatively comfortable rate. It's not 110. As we move through this, you're going to notice with each gear shift, your cadence might get a little bit higher, and the legs will get a little bit more comfortable. Shift up 1 easier gear. Again, staying light, keeping it at a cadence that's flushing out all the fatigue that we created in that workout. Really think about your feet being light. I know I talk about this all the time, but it makes a difference. If you can learn how to make your legs light, you will survive a longer ride better, more efficiently. And you'll have energy in the last miles. One easier gear. That's why sitting in a big ring, sitting in a hard gear is not the best thing to do. But you have to find that gentle balance between being the mouse in the wheel and being in the right gear. That's why we work on cadence. That's why we give you a metric to help you. If you can achieve that 90 cadence for most of your ride, unless you're doing a super hilly ride, the gearing has to match that. One more shift. You're probably up to about 100 at this point. Legs are really starting to feel fresher. All that stuff is getting flushed out. The legs are happy to be done. Looks like next week, if you have any time during the week, a few of the days next week are going to get into the 50s. I think it was 5:15 tonight, and it's still light. One more shift. You might be at the top of your cassette. Allow yourself to spin the legs out at the highest, easiest cadence possible. Just enough. Finish up your water bottle if you're not done with it. I hope that you guys on trainer nights, you really pay attention to your hydration during the day. And you should also be hydrating the days before and the days after. Trust me, hydration helps the muscles be prepared, and it also helps them recover. That's why we do a recovery shake. All right, just bring the legs down. Decrease your cadence. Bring it down to around 80. At this point, you should also feel your heart rate coming back to normal. You may not have felt your heart rate getting super high today, which is typically the way it works. Lower cadence means lower heart rate. But it's crazy to think that on the trainer it's that way. But if you were actually climbing, your heart rate would be skyrocketing. All right, this is a good cool down. I like the way this workout went. 3, 2, 1. Great job, guys. Woo. Nice.